What is feedback and how to use it while exploring your attitudes and behaviours? We have all learned to think for ourselves in certain ways that we develop throughout our life and work experiences. Feedback is a great way to support adding some colour to our self-image, and it can be a wonderful gift for our professional development. It is useful at this point to call in the Jahari Window, created by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingham in 1955. This model has 4 different quadrants, each of them related to a person's self-awareness. Open area, what we and others know about ourselves. Blind area, what we don't know about ourselves, but others do. Hidden area, what we know about ourselves, but others don't. Unknown area, what neither we nor others know about us. The quadrants expand or shrink in relation to each other as we gain more awareness about ourselves through experience, observation, feedback from others, self-reflection, communication, etc. Expanding the open area allows us to become more self-aware and to understand in which directions to steer our professional development. Feedback is a key element in this enlargement process. To use feedback for our professional development, we can take this process into our own hands. When consciously used for professional growth and development, and not only received based on ad hoc or emerging behaviours in a certain situation, feedback can have a stronger and more lasting impact. The first step can be to decide in which area or concerning which specific behaviours we would like to receive it. If we relate this to a competence model, we should choose a competence and then go for a specific behaviour or a set of behaviours. Behaviours are the key here because they are precisely what people can see in action and then assess. It is important to make sure that we collect feedback from people that have seen us in action. We should think of people with different roles. Young people we are working with, colleague youth workers, our employer. It would be good to concretise the setting as much as possible and invite people to provide feedback related to a specific situation. Youth exchange, workshop, street action, to name just a few. We should be curious about what we hear, ask for examples and try to clarify the message. This would make a difference between hearing feedback and hearing an opinion about ourselves. Once we have collected the feedback from a certain number of people, the key is that we allow ourselves enough time to process it. It is essential to remind ourselves that no feedback carries the absolute truth. It is us who decide what we will do with the feedback and which parts to take into account. Even if the person is trying to provide their objective observations, it is still their own interpretation of the reality. In many cases, feedback tells us as much about the giver as about the receiver. In the case of feedback based on behaviours, the feedback is in no way a judgment of how the person is, but about the behaviour itself. However, more often than not, feedback will give us something to work on if we're carefully tuned in, especially if we manage to recognise repetition and emerging patterns. If we get feedback about a specific behaviour observed by several people in different situations, there is a high chance that there is a message for us there. Finally, whenever possible, it would be good to complement feedback with self-assessment in order to have an overall picture and to work towards enlarging the open area.